quick PSA, no one walking around Paris looks like this, except for like the occasional golden girl who's just living her best life. I don't know who started the stereotype, who thought this was a thing in Paris. It is not. I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubble, but if you come here dressed like this, walking around like so, you know, holding this with your little dog or whatever, they gonna know, you know, she ain't from here. Hello beautiful people, my name is Savannah Bernadette. I go by Savvy C, and welcome back to the Savvy C Scoop, a place where I talk about all things books, my life living in Paris, and travel. And today we are going to get into some stereotypes. When I announced that I was moving to Paris in June of this year, I was met with so much support and encouragement and, you know, congratulatory messages, but also on the back end of that, kind of a, you know, a backhanded compliment to my announcement to my move. So many people were like, oh, you're moving to Paris, congrats. That was the worst city I visited in Paris. Or like, oh, that's awesome, you're moving to Paris. Like, everyone there is so rude, and like, they're not even gonna like talk to you if you don't speak French, blah, blah, blah. Like, so all these just immediate stereotypes. And I've been here before. I came here for the first time when I was 7 years old, back in 2008. And I was super like, you know, kind of jaded by those comments and nervous and just scared to come here. But thankfully, now that I've been here for just over 2 months now, I've been able to see, you know, feel out the vibe, you know what I'm saying? See if the stereotypes have some, you know, validity to them, or if they're just curated from just American media or just like media cinematic portrayals of the French in general. So this video is going to break down some stereotypes that I've heard throughout my time here, and I'm going to say if they're vrai, which is true, or faux, which is false. First up, French people all smoke. This is vrai, very, very true. From the second I got here, I noticed a ton of just ashtrays on every restaurant table. You know, people you walk by, students, high school age students, people all over the place are smoking. Smoking is very common here. I had a Wi-Fi installed recently, and like mid-installation, he like left to go outside, and I like made sure everything was okay, and he was just a smoke break. He's like, it was really funny. But just, yeah, smoking is very common here. I don't think it's in a addictive, abusive way, but just like a cultural, social gathering thing. Like, I see a lot of people that maybe are strangers who don't know each other well, like ask for a light. I see that a lot. So yeah, maybe just like a communal social thing. But that is very true. You can often, you know, walk into a cloud of smoke and be like, ooh. Or sometimes it's like a this is a weird thing, but sometimes it'll be like a e-cig or like a Juul or something, and you like get the vapor, but it's like a good flavor, so it's like, ooh, pina colada. Second stereotype is that French people smell, or just that the city of Paris and the country of France is just a smelly place. This is faux, très faux, very false, not true. I find, honestly, to be quite opposite. I'll be on the metro, I'll be walking around in the grocery store, wherever, and people smell immaculate, like to the point where I'm like, ooh, that's great. Like, people smell really well here. And it's ironic too, because especially in the south of France, like a lot of perfumes originated, or really like the perfume industry started in the south of France. So it's a big cultural hub for it. So I don't know where that idea came from. Maybe like, I was thinking maybe like Pepe Le Pew, this like raccoon who I think is French or has at least a French name. So maybe that's where that comes from, or this idea that like French people don't shower like we do in the States or whatever. But I do not find that to be the case. People here smell lovely. Next up, number 3. This is a big one. This is probably the most like requested, or what most people ask me about. French people are rude. I'm gonna say les deux / situational. So vrai and faux, true and false, both, but it's situational. So a huge asterisk by that. True in this sense of I've seen and have been in experiences like where I'll be, like I was at Le Bon Marché, right? Which, you know, is very hoity-toity, you know, where all the designer brands are. And I was there for a field trip with my fashion class. I'm here getting my master's. And we were just standing by like just this area, And since we weren't there as buying customers, the lady came up to us and asked us to like leave that area. I mean, just go over to like the hallway. So like little things like that, but also false in the sense of I've been at the grocery store. I remember I was at Monoprix my first or second week here, and I didn't scan and weigh the bananas to have like a barcode on them by the time I went through checkout. And the guy like showed me like you gotta walk over to the scale for the fruit and explain to me how it works. Or like when I first got here, like first day, fresh off the plane, fresh off of Charles de Gaulle, complete strangers were helping me with my 4 suitcases, helping me carry it to my apartment, giving me directions. And so yeah, so I think it's, I would say situational. I'd say the biggest thing, and what I think where the stereotype comes from, is when people don't even make an effort to speak French, to, you know, say bonjour, wait to hear it back, and then establish that before you ask what you would like, before you ask for your need. I think a lot of people just assume straight off the bat, like, they'll say, do you speak English? Not like, hey, how's it going? You know, how are you? Whatever. Madame, monsieur, pardon. Like, it's just like, do you speak English? Yes or no? And then tell you what you want. So I would say for those watching this and you're planning on coming to France in the future, coming to Paris in the future, once, you know, the world opens up again post Miss Rona, when there's a vaccine, just be mindful of that and just make sure you say bonjour, you know, madame, monsieur, pardon, whatever. And then, you know, make a genuine effort in French. And if you can't, they'll most likely be able to switch to English. And then, you know, they'll give you some grace. And then too, say, you know, you're from America, from wherever you are. They're like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. So I definitely just want to clear that up for people. Next up, number 4, French women are sticks, rail thin, 5'10" supermodels. This is faux. This is false. Very false. I came in thinking, you know, that everyone was gonna be looking like, I don't know, freaking like Cindy Crawford or something, right? Like, you know, these 5'10", boyish pixie cuts, you know, stripes, whatever. This is not true. It does, however, have a historic origin. I learned about it in my fashion class called La Parisienne, which is this idea of exactly that. They say, you know, it's 5'10", you know, boyish, you know, she might have long hair, she might have short hair, she, you know, is effortlessly chic, she has, you know, the Eiffel Tower behind her, you know, just you know, to the side of her, she has her dog, you know, she's wearing red lipstick, you know, all these things, right? And that is curated, and that comes with just the fashion industry here and the fashion presence in Paris, but it is thankfully not at all the truth. You'll walk around and see, you know, skinny girls, you'll see thick girls, you'll see, you know, brown girls, you'll see black girls, you'll see Asian girls, Latinos, like Latinas, like you see all types of women here in Paris. And that was something too, coming in as a Black woman, that I was kind of nervous about or just hesitant about, but not at all. There is all sizes, and you will definitely be able to find your clothes size here, so don't fret. Next up, number 5, the small portions at restaurants. And this is vrai, très vrai, very, very true. Which kind of maybe does, now that I think about it, play into what people think, you know, women here, just people here are so skinny, because the portions at restaurants are smaller. I know from just like a plate size alone, like diameter alone, the US standard plate versus the France standard plate is significantly different and smaller, and that does play into restaurants. And at times when I first got here, I mean, we're in confinement now, so I haven't gone to a restaurant lately, but when I first got here, it was just really frustrating, because I would just get these meals and be like, that's it? And then like throw a little bread on the side, like, let's go do something. I'm like, your girl gotta eat, okay? I am not, you know, a twig, okay? I got to eat. A girl like me ain't missing no meals, okay? But now I've been here for like, you know, 2+ months. I now understand, like, it's just like, they're not really, like, the French are big on like sitting down and eating and like having that family time, but overall though, it's just like little meals throughout the day. So it'll be like, you know, a croissant and espresso, then, you know, it'll be a sandwich on the go. Like, it would just be like little meals here and there versus like huge, heavy, dense meals 3 times a day. So just keep that in mind. Number 6, limited worth ethic. So I put les deux for this, so true and false, vrai and faux for this one. I say it's both because I'll start with false first. So false in the sense of like versus the States, like the French are really just about like a better overall quality of life, and work and what you do as your job doesn't define you. It's like work just sustains your life and just gives you money, but everything you do outside of that defines who you are and defines your life. So I would say that's the false part. But then the true part is there are cases where restaurants will close for like 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours during like peak, lunchtime in the afternoon hours of the day. And it's just like, how are these people, like, how are these restaurants staying open? Like, how are they with such limited hours? And that's just like my thinking as an American. But so, that is, I guess, quote unquote, true or false. Or two, how like bureaucracy here, whew, that was a whole other video, but customer service isn't as big of a thing here, so I think that can maybe play into this whole idea that like French people are quote unquote lazy and their work ethic isn't as strong. But it's just because they don't their work isn't everything, their job isn't, their identity isn't rooted in work, so they ain't gotta work that hard. Next up, number 7, the streets of the runway, the runway, the runway, the runway. This is vrai, très vrai. This is very true. I think it's true, and it's just like more like an innate thing. This is Paris, this is France, this is the land of Dior, Cartier, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Louis Vuitton, Lacombe, Givenchy, like all these brands, these high fashion brands that really defined culture and just what haute couture originated here. Like just all these things are just part of the French DNA, just the fabric of this city and of this country. I think that just permeates itself throughout the people who are native here. So your selection and what you're exposed to is just totally different from anywhere else in the world. And I think that's why this is the fashion capital, or one of, I think others are emergency, like New York, London, etc., but Milan. But I think Paris is definitely, still that number 1 fashion capital for that reason of just the great history here. And that reflects in, the people who live here. But that's great though too, because I feel like my fashion game, stepped up a little bit. So, when you get here, you're exposed to a lot of different styles and like just designers and clothes and things you just never probably would have tried if you lived elsewhere. All right, and last but certainly not least, number 8, walking everywhere. This is very true. It's easier sometimes to just walk, especially if you're in that weird spot where like walking to a metro station or a bus or RER is like not really worth it. You can just walk, will be quicker. Even though public transportation is great here, it's phenomenal, especially if you have a Navigo card, it's free. You just tap it and you have it unlimited for a year. You have to pay one time for that annual subscription. But yeah, it is just easier to walk here. There's so many sidewalks, everything's connected, all put well together. So that's very true. And you just walk off everything. It's a good way too to like explore the city and just learn about hidden gems that you wouldn't have come across otherwise if you were like in an Uber or Metro, RER, whatever. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. This was a fun one to make. Comment below if you agree or disagree with those stereotypes, or if you have any others that you come across while you've been here, maybe lived here, or you just heard of and maybe seen. I would love to hear somewhere you have. As always, I'm sending my love, mwah, mwah, so wherever you are in the world where you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!